Hello, welcome to this video where I am going to show you how to seal a hole, even though this one is a little bit broken, and write your first lines. This is going to be a 2-color starburst pattern on a chicken egg, but it can be done on any egg. This is Pysanky wax resist. I'm doing a traditional pattern, but this particular starburst pattern can be the framework for a contemporary pattern, breaking out into any design you would like to do. I'm using a fine Kistka. You can use any size you like, depending on your pattern. Beeswax. I'm using beeswax that I have filtered myself, but you're certainly welcome to use any kind of beeswax you like. I have beeswax that's darkened already, but it will be darkened by the flame. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this in, put a plug here, not really fill it in. You'll notice I heat it up first till it's very hot. I'm going to scoop up some wax, which is off camera, blot, and I test. Now I use an index card because it's very similar to what a shell feels like. I'm doing this in real time. This is for beginners especially, but for anyone really who just wants to see how a different artist does their work, because we can learn from each other all the time. The first thing I do is I do an outline. Wax sticks to wax, and this is just like when you're a small child and you're learning how to color in, and your teacher says outline and then fill in. Then I take a little piece of wax, a little pellet, and I roll it up in my fingers to warm it up so that it's like a little ball. And then I flatten it just a little bit, not too much. And I press it gently and rest it on top of the hole. I don't want to push it into the egg, although if it falls in the egg, nothing bad is going to happen. Beeswax never goes bad, so it won't hurt it if it goes into there. Then I heat up my Kistka again. And then I'm going to seal it. Now, if you look and see, I'm going to angle my tip so that the edge of the tip slightly melts that pellet while I use the melted beeswax to go on that bead I ran around the edge. Now see here, there's a gap. I'm going to heat this up again. I'm going to push and pull. See how that beautifully flowed right into there? Lovely. It's exactly what you're trying to do. Now, sometimes you won't have put enough wax on there. What do you think you do? Exactly. You go back and you get a little bit more. Can you have too much on there? Oh, I don't know. It may just get in the way of your hand. In which case, you go like this. And with the heat of your tool, you flatten it out a little bit till it's smooth and comfortable. Polishing it. Cools off just like that. See? And that's nice. All right, so as you'll see, my pencil lines are super light. I didn't use a lathe. I didn't even use paper strips or anything. I just freehand do this because for me, this particular pattern, one, it's a practice egg. It's sketch, so it's I'm not going to constrain myself. I'm going to let myself be free. And the other thing is, I trust my eye. I believe in my eye. I like to start at the bottom because if there's going to be a blob, I like it to be there. Turn the egg with your non-drawing hand. Reset. Turn. Reset. Turn. Reset. Turn. Remember to breathe, my friends. When we're learning something new, it is so easy to forget to breathe. Reset. Turn. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to go this way. You notice I don't start there. I redraw my line a little bit. Also notice I didn't copy my pencil line exactly. Why? My pencil line is a suggestion. Now, did you see I put a little dot there because I wasn't too super careful? Yeah, carry on. Now, to complete the gateway, I did prime meridian, the other longitude. Now I'm going to do the equator. Why? Well, you can ask a lot of Pysanky artists and they're all going to say the same thing. Well, maybe variations on a theme, but well, that's how I learned it. When you do this, if you're doing this particular division, this gives you such grounding. If you do everything else before you do this equator, it's very hard to get things proportional. There's something about how your brain works that probably is very grounded in neuroscience, but this helps you get everything else correct. So, prime meridian, longitude, equator. Is it a law? No. Strong suggestion? Absolutely. Okay, now, I don't like, just like a gas tank, I don't like my Kistka to get to empty unless I'm working on one particular pattern. If I'm starting something new, I like to fill up. So fill up before you start a trip. Notice I'm turning with this hand. And see how I rock it back and forth so I can see where my destination is. It's kind of like a test swing. You're not going too fast. You're not going too slow. I wonder if you can hear my dog snoring in the background, because I definitely can. All right, now I'm going to pencil some new lines in for you. So while I do that, I'm going to snuff my candle, my alcohol burner out. Safety first. Like I said, we're doing a starburst division. Now, everybody does this differently. I'm not going to take my points all the way to here. I'm going to stop somewhere here. So to do that, I'm going to give myself a line. Could I have done that first? Yeah, I could have. But I wanted to show you how you can change and add pencil at any point. Anytime you want. The other thing is, where am I going to put my points? Well, I want my points to be in the middle. They don't have to be in the middle. They can be wherever you want. Now, the other thing is here's the point, where are they going to meet here? So I like to mark that too, so that I don't have grand disappointment where I start somewhere and I have some way up here and some way down here. And I do the same on the other side. I strongly encourage you to work one face and then the other face. Okay, we're going to light the candle back up again. This is an alcohol burner, not an oil lamp. I use 99% isopropyl. alcohol, not denatured alcohol, because the color of the flame is easier to see. Both are fine to work in one of these. But the denatured alcohol has such a pale flame, it's very difficult to see it. All right, so for beginners, I tell them to make a dot. So make a dot, and a dot. And then you have, can you see that dot? And then you know where you're going to go. Now, you can go this way, or you can turn it, and you can go this way. I recommend this method so that you're not overshooting. You're starting here, and you're ending on a line. So you're starting at the dot, and you're going to go to that line. Turn the egg. It's a small, tiny thing, but wow, does it help. Rather than moving your hand, you can keep this hand stable. See how I'm resting it here? So we're going to do it again. We're going to go from here to here. And you're going to see me turn this egg just that tiny bit. Let me heat up a little bit. So we're going to go from here to here. And even to show you, I turn the egg. Turn the egg. Wow, so easy. All right, dot, dot, dot. Now, if you're working with me and you want to fast forward, go ahead and fast forward. And we will catch up when it's time to go into the next color. So if you're continuing to work along with me, make your dot, and your dot, 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 dot. Now, if you find it uncomfortable to hold the egg in your hand like this, don't. Put it down. Rest it. I have this whole stack of stuff. I like to hold the egg, but once in a while I get really tired, so I rest it on a stack of stuff. My back gets tired because you tend to slouch. So make a stack of things, whether it's a microfiber pillow or a towel or whatever, and then you can still turn it. See how easy that is, friends? Two more sections, and we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, now this is super important. Check your work. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Check the integrity of the hole. Did I check my seal? Do I see any pinholes? Is everything fine? Now, because I'm not working with my flame, I put it out. And that's true of even if you're working with a candle, snuff it out. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to put this into yellow dye. Now, mine is going to float because it's empty. what I do, normally I just roll it around like this. And it takes that fast. If I needed to submerge it, I have bottles that I can weigh it down. That's my version of reduce, reuse, recycle. And then I take it out. And I pat it dry. I didn't clean the bottom of that bottle very well. Apologize, guests. Now, why did my egg die so fast and yours do not? Well, my eggs are farm eggs. That might be why. They haven't been cleaned and oiled like grocery store eggs have been. So mine have the original bloom that comes with the egg. It matters. That's why mine die in seconds. And grocery store eggs take a little bit longer. Might take a little bit more work. You might have to dip them in vinegar and do other things to encourage them to take the dye. Okay, so this is the fun part. You can decide what you're going to do next. I like the traditional lines. It does take a little bit more time, but boy, is it pretty when you're done. We're going to do A, B, which simply means that what you do here, you skip there, and then you do it here, and you skip there, and you do here, and you skip there. Then what this pattern is here, you do here. So I'm going to pencil that, if I can find my pencil. So we have A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. And don't worry about the pencil. If you write lightly, it's going to come off at the end. And even if it needs a little bit of help, that's what goof off and ronce and all are for. So then in the background here, this will be A, this will be B, A, B, A, B, A, B. It's that simple. So we have yellow, and then we can choose whatever other color we want in the background. I'm going to do red. That's my choice, but you can choose whatever colors you want. So I'm going to get you started, and then if you want to stay with me, you can, and then you can fast forward if that's your wish. Now, I'm going to do lines, but you can do, whatever you like. I like to start there so that way my lines are parallel the whole way through the arm of the star. So I'm going to skip this one, that's B, and I'm going to go to the next A. So I go from there to there. Do you have to do it that way? Absolutely not. You do not have to. You can do whatever you like. But I have found that that is probably the easiest way to get those even lines that people always want to have. Okay, so now I have a couple arms. Now for the people who are just chomping at the bit to go forward, how do I get this here? Well, it would be hard to go here. Normally what I do is go, I'm just going to go all the way around. Like I said, I always do the whole thing first before I move to the next step. That way I don't miss things. That's why I did that. So I have all of that. Now, to do this, I start at the line. Now, some people hop over the arm to go across. I don't. I do my lines as evenly as I can and space them as evenly as I can. And then I go like this. Now, if you want to fast forward and then catch up when it's ready to go into the die, because we have to do the other side. If you want to stay with me, that's fine. You can stay with me. I love this Starburst design so much because you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. This is such an ancient, ancient design. It was meant to honor the sun god in pagan, Eastern European pagan times. When the spring rites were done, when winter was coming to a close, like now, and it's bitter cold, using the first fruits. You know, eggs aren't laid all year, and modern chickens are incredible layers. Even just 100 years ago, chickens didn't lay even every day like they do now. If you had a good layer, she might lay twice a week. In medieval times, a good layer laid once a week. That was a good layer. So when you think about that, a good hen laid once a week. And their eggs were smaller than what we have now. So ancient peoples would take those first fruits and put them aside. They wouldn't even eat them, even after the scarcity of food. They would put them aside to decorate for these pagan rituals. All right, I'm going to turn this over. Now, what I do, you can do whatever you like. The first one I do is opposite this. So this is B, so this is A. And I do this one. That's so that I keep that alternating. You see the sense of that? It is very easy to make a mistake on these very simple designs when you flip to the other side. There's other tricks that rely on memory and practice, but it's much easier to just do that. I have to fill up. And now, if you want to go all the way around, that's fine. But then if I did this, I do this. So if I did this, I do the background. And again, if you want to fast forward, go ahead and fast forward. If you want to pause it while you work. totally fine. Whichever suits you. So I just went from the arm. Now I'm going to the background. Now I'm going to do this egg all with the same size wax pen, stylus, Kistka, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. No one minds whatever you want to call the tool. You can call it thingamabob. So now I did this. I'm going to do the arm now. The arm of the star. But I'm going to do this all with one size pen. Just like someone would do if this was their first time. And they had limited resources. But honestly, when I was a child, I was only allowed to have one tool, probably because it was a smart thing. You know, I was a kid. I probably caught them on fire more than I remember. I mean, who doesn't? Or you're rough with them. You know, my mom would write my name on mine. And the arm. All right, that's so exciting. Look at that. See? Beautiful. And see these little smudges and stuff like that? It actually doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, not one bit. Check your work. Check your work. Make sure that seal is in good shape. It is so easy to accidentally poke it when you're writing next to it. So it doesn't hurt to... And if you're working on full eggs, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, now I'm going to put out my flame. The color I'm going to do next is I'm going to do red. Beautiful, beautiful red. See it changing? That is so cool. Look at that. So beautiful. Now I know some of you are going to say, well, it's splotchy. Yes, this particular egg is splotchy. But even if I leave it in longer, that is not going to change. This particular egg had imperfections in the surface, and that's its natural characteristics. It's not a piece of paper or canvas where I can fix that. I personally embrace that. I see it as a collaboration between me and the egg to make something Truly marvelous. No different than a silk or wool garment that has slubbed sections that show the characteristics of the material, the fabric, the fiber. So I enjoy that. All right. Now we have a choice to make. We're going to fill in, and we can choose to either fill in where the lines are or fill in where there's no lines. It doesn't matter. But we're going to do the same A, B, A, B. Now, and then it'll go into a final color. I personally like filling in where there's already wax because it's a lot easier. When you're a beginner, it is so much easier to take the help. I think it's just much easier to avoid having gaps. So I recommend that. It's less frustrating. And it makes it go a lot faster and there's less errors. So I recommend filling in, and again, start right there, angle to angle, and outline, come right up to the outline, and then fill in. And again, same thing, outline, outline. And when you fill in, you do want to have the wax a little bit hotter. Outline and then fill in. This is like coloring with a ballpoint pen because this tip is narrow. And so when you're filling in, you're doing the same as you would do if you're filling in an area with a ballpoint pen. You're going to outline and then fill in back and forth. You're not scribbling. Line, 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 line. Okay? So I'm going to do the next arm. I'm going to show you exactly the same thing. Start in that middle. If your wax pen is going to blob, you want it to blob right there in that biggest section with acreage right there. Boom. Right there. That's where you want it to blob. All right? And then outline. Outline. And then fill in that spot. Okay? Next. Outline. Outline. Fill in. Well, that's satisfying. Outline. Outline. Fill in. Repeat. That was my chihuahua protecting me from the wind. Outline. This is no different than any other way of coloring with a fine tip tool. So pretend you're using a marker. Outline, outline. We have all doodled by filling in this same shape. We have all filled in a rectangle, a triangle. We've all done that. Okay, so that is filled in. Now, to fill in this shape, how I like to do it is I like to fill in the rectangle. So start here, the rectangle, the triangle. And again, follow the outline first, fill in. And then I go to the other side. Why do I do it this way? It's faster. It's just faster. I have taught lots of after school drawing to little kids. Oh my goodness. There's method to my madness. This can be boring. This can make you avoid doing something if you don't go about it efficiently. And now that we have the 2 triangles filled in, we can fill in the rectangle. Outline, outline. And then fill in. Not only is it faster, it's efficient. Please try it my way. It's efficient. It's also a way to make sure that you don't leave gaps and that you don't forget bits and pieces. No, you don't have. You can do it whatever way you want. I want you to be joyful and be happy. And one of the best ways to be joyful and be happy is to have knowledge from other people's mistakes and not make them yourself. I mean, feel free to make as many mistakes as you like. But if you can learn from other people's knowledge without frustration, yeah. So outline and fill in. And my darlings, if when you're filling in like this and you get a blob, embrace it. So you get a blob right now. Turning it into a design. Make it into something. Make a spiral. Make a star. Make a whatever. Turn it into initials. Make it into the date. Make a snowflake. Make a something. Make a something. This is a trampoline to something. So this is what we're going to do. If you want to stay with me while we're doing this, that's great. If you want to, put it on pause, that's great too. If you want to fast forward to the next step, go ahead and do that right now. Sorry. Obi. Obi, you're fine, buddy. Yeah, friends, and I'm not even good enough at video editing to take that out, so you're just going to have to share. So that's the front, and we're going to keep doing that to the back. It's already cool looking. Wait till you see the next. Okay, with this Starburst design, you can not use the lines. You can make this into a total flower, and instead of making it points, you can make it curves. You can do double point, instead of making this a single arm, you can make it a double arm, a triple arm. You can put leaf, instead of making this a line, you can make that a leaf. You can do a border on here. You can do a border here. It's endless. This is one of those designs that artists get asked, if you could only do one design division for the rest of your life, which would it be? 48 triangles or Starburst, and it's pretty evenly divided, with artists choosing one or the other because of the endless variations you can achieve with this ancient design with pagan roots. That is so beautiful. People think it's modern. There's so many times I've made this really ancient with these particular colors, the yellow, red, and then the black. Black will be the final color. And people ask me, if, first of all, they ask me if it's my design. No one knows who invented it. And it's because it's so graphic and so powerful, they think it's modern art, which I think some of the most powerful art that man has made does look modern. because it's abstracted and iconic. Now, because it's quiet in here, other than my occasional dog snoring and chihuahua barks, you should be able to hear a little bit of the tool on the surface of the shell. It's not very loud. It's slightly louder than pen on paper. If you're louder than that, you're probably pressing too hard. And you don't actually want to press, because then you're scratching the egg. You just want to let the tool glide on the surface of the shell. Okay, one last bit and then we're ready to put it into black dye. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Home stretch. And then we will stretch. Okay. Check your work. Check for any open spots. All right, I'm going to put the flame out. And now it's ready to put it into black dye. Black dye. Alrighty, black dye. Black always takes a little longer than all of the other colors. Why? I don't know. It used to be fast, but it's not fast anymore. It is not fast anymore. It just takes longer. See? Takes longer. So now is a good time to literally stretch. Stretch your neck. You can get a paper towel ready, and because the next step, this is the super fun part, is the big reveal. We're gonna melt the wax off, and that is just always so exciting. Oh, it's taking so long. I may have to do that in a second video because this is taking a while. I'm going to do that in a second video. Because this is taking too long. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do the big reveal in a second video. I look forward to answering any questions that you may have. I appreciate all of the time that you spent with me, and email me any questions you might have. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.